And now the Hansons and Hiatus podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It is episode 123 of the Hansons on Hiatus podcast. I'm your host, Nate, and this is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us some virtual beers.
And we will happily drink them.
Yes, we will. And you can visit hansonsonhiatus.com. You can check out the merch shop. We got all kinds of different pug stuff, podcast stuff, holiday stuff, just tons of things up there.
Beer stuff.
And you can also become a monthly Fucky supporter there. You can be a little Fucky for $1 a month. You can be a medium Fucky for $5 a month. And you can be a big old Fucky for $10 a month.
We love all of our Fuckies.
We sure do. Even the free ones.
Even the free.
And we wanted to thank some of our Fuckies. We want to thank Jose, Sydney, Luis, Manny, Spandex Thor, Brian P., Antonio, Chrissy, Christina, Stephanie, Kimberly, Tom, and Miss Nikki D.
Woohoo! Thank you so much, Nikki D, for joining the Fuckies.
Yeah.
She's always been a Fuckie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's an OG. And also, if you would like to sponsor an episode of the podcast, if you have a business that you want to get some information out there, let us know. We can connect and figure out a little way that you can sponsor an episode or a couple episodes, and we will talk about your business.
Yep.
And you can message us on Instagram, or you can even message my Facebook fan page at DigiDudeNate, and we can figure that out.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And and don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music, at Hansons on Hiatus.
We be there.
We be everywhere. And I also wanted to thank everybody who wished me a happy birthday. My birthday was this past Tuesday. Thank you very much. Man, I had so many comments. I'm still trying to catch up with them.
You had a lot of happy birthday a lot of birthday comments, a lot of birthday wishes. Eventful birthday? Not eventful?
Yeah.
Eventful. Okay.
Very eventful.
We'll get to it.
Yeah. And I did want to thank also Brian P. He bought us 5 beers, and Jose from eponatl.com. He bought, and he's our friend, obviously, as well, but I want to give his business a little love. He bought us 20 beers for my birthday.
Jose is awesome, and it was also his wife Carmen's birthday, so happy birthday again to her.
Yeah, feliz cumpleaños.
Feliz cumpleaños, Carmen.
Yes.
Love you.
But everybody else, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was a fun birthday. And we're going to get into it.
Yes, we got a lot.
Yes, we do. But I also wanted to go over comments from last episode. Let's see. Christina said, sweet que bonito. For Nate, I am counting to 5. I always start with my thumb as well. However, if counting is less than 5, I always start with my index finger.
Ooh, switching it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So like a little 1, 2, 3, 4, but if she's going more, she starts with the thumb.
Yeah. That's interesting, because I would probably do it the other way. Like, and maybe I'm reading it wrong, but yeah, if I'm just doing like 3, like if I'm doing talking points where I'm like A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. But if I'm doing, more than, if I'm doing 10 or something, then I'm going to maybe I'll start with the index finger.
I gotcha.
Maybe, I don't know. And then she also says, as a woman, I agree with Alexis. I do not open my door for unexpected visitors. It is important. Whoever it is will find another way to get in touch with me, if it is important.
Thank you, Christina.
She said,
I feel so seen.
She said, my husband is the complete opposite and will answer the door for almost anyone.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
maybe it's a male-female thing. Like, we have more to worry about. You guys are like, what up?
Yeah.
Let's
What if it's a
open the door.
bear or a man?
I'm going with the bear.
Oh, shoot.
Unless it's you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Christina. And
funny.
anybody else, if you have any comments for the episode, if you want to, you can leave it. If you're watching on YouTube, we got the comments right below, and you can also do it on Spotify. You can comment anything that we're talking about, and you want us to either read the comment or you have something to say. Go ahead and leave a comment there, and we'll give you a shout out.
I love it. I love it
Yes.
so much.
Yeah. So, the start of our trip, if you were listening maybe the last 2 episodes, we had we had a little plan where we were flying out of Merida. So we took the bus up to Merida first, and then stayed the night there and everything, and then we flew out early the next morning.
Yes.
And this is about 4 hours away. So so we one of the funny things. So we're just gonna go over these. Like whenever we go on vacations, we write down just kind of like talking points. So I'm gonna be reading some of these things and be like, oh yeah, that's what we were talking about. Some of them I'm a little fuzzy about, but this one was for some reason it's only in Merida that we figured this out. Every time we stay in a little hotel there, when you check in, they give you your room key, which is a physical key. Which is totally fine. And then they give you a bag of remotes, and it's like they'll give you a Roku remote for the built-in Roku TV or whatever. They'll give you like the regular TV remote, and then they also give you the AC remote.
Yeah, so weird.
Yeah, isn't it strange? I mean, I guess it's not weird because probably people steal them, which I never really thought about. But it's weird that it's only in Merida that we've experience that.
They probably steal them or damage them because
True.
we've experienced that where your controller's a little crushed for some reason or weird, it's not working. So yeah, probably both.
Yes. So we were in Merida and we had split a magic cookie and just hanging out on a patio at a brewery, drinking some beers, eating pizza, and singing What Is Love? Just a typical evening.
Typical time.
And I see this guy pull up outside of the brewery on the patio, and he gets out of his car, and another guy comes up and starts talking to him, and they were just talking for quite a while. Just chatting it up.
It was a good minute.
Yeah. And so I say to you, I go, am I high, or is this guy buying a dead deer head out of his car? Because I could see these antlers sticking up behind the car, and I'm like, is this guy buying a fucking deer?
Yeah. I think he's like buying a deer from like Facebook Marketplace or something, one of those meetups.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like maybe selling like some deer jerky or something like that, or
Yeah.
I don't know. So you go and you're like, hang on, let me zoom in, and you zoom into this situation here, and it was a fake mounted deer head.
Oh my God. Was not expecting that.
No. So I'm like, damn, how strong are these cookies? I can hear my hair growing.
I hear the deer antlers growing.
Oh yeah, it was super funny. But yeah, it ended up just being not dead deer. I don't know. Was it a dead deer or was it a fake mounted deer? Like, was it a plastic one?
I think it was real. It looked fuzzy. I think it was like an older, mounted deer head. I don't know, taxidermy, whatever you call it.
I'm sure you deer people can let us know.
Yeah. They're like, that was real or not. Check out the video. Let us know.
Oh, shoot. So after that, where did we get that cheesecake? Remember, we got cheesecake to go.
It was some random coffee shop because I was like, I still want dessert.
Yes, we were walking around. Okay, so yeah, we go back to the hotel and we go to our room. This hotel was fantastic, by the way. It was like $25 or something.
Beautiful.
And they gave you everything.
Yep.
Like, they had a full fridge too. That was nice because sometimes those little cheapo hotels don't have a fridge. So yeah, that was definitely a nice plus.
It was nice.
But we're going to eat this cheesecake and we're high as shit.
Yep.
And so we're like, how the fuck are we gonna eat this cheesecake? They didn't give us any silverware or anything.
No silverware in the bag.
Luckily, the hotel gave us 2 toothbrushes in these like little travel packs with like little
tiny toothpaste.
Yeah.
Super cute.
So we're there high as fuck on the bed, just eating some cheesecake with our toothbrushes.
We make things work, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
We might not have a plan, but we make it work.
Yes. So the next morning, we get up. We got to be at the airport by, 4 a.m.? 4:15 or something?
Yeah, early.
Yeah. So I think we woke up at like 3:30 or whatever.
Ugh.
And we go through security. And the way I travel, both of us, we just brought backpacks. But I bring like everything I need as far as I got clothes. But then I have my drone in there, my 360 camera, my GoPro. I got chargers. I got all kinds of wires,
30,000 wires,
batteries and
Yeah.
everything. So I'm like, okay, we're going through security and I'm like, they're going to stop me because this is a smaller airport out of Merida.
Every time.
And my bag goes through and it's always that like hesitation when it's
Yeah.
coming out of the thing to see if it's going to go choo-choo and go over to the other side,
I
you
hate
know?
when they reverse it too. It like goes back in, it goes back out. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. And so mine comes out and it goes through and I'm like, what the fuck?
We're like, yay.
Then your bag and it does that little ding ding boom and they take it.
I was like, of course.
Yeah. And what did they flag you for?
My lotion. It was travel size lotion. I had 2 of them in the side of my bag. And the guy was like, he wasn't very nice. He was like, open. And then I opened it and he looked and he's like looking at the lotion. I'm like, lotion. He's like, okay, puts it back in there. You're good. I'm like, we're stopping for lotion?
Yeah.
Really? Of all the things in your bag that could look like bombs and whatever, my tiny travel lotion.
Yeah, so fucking weird. And you had the stuff that looked like cocaine.
Creatine.
Creatine,
It
yeah,
was
that-
not cocaine.
Yeah, it looked like it though.
It did. I had it in like a Jello shot cup with a lid, but because that was the only thing with that, I was like, "Oh, this will keep it safe."
Yeah.
That didn't get flagged.
No.
Nope.
But then when we were getting on the plane, we got stopped by immigration,
Oopsies.
and they I mean, not oopsies. We didn't do anything wrong, but it was just interesting that we probably got profiled because I look white and you look Mexican, so I don't know why you got stopped.
She stopped me, and then I look, and my husband's just going about his way down the jetway without me because she stops me after you, and I didn't have my driver's license. I had my fanny pack in my bag because I had 2 bags.
Yeah.
So I had to pull that out and then give it to her. And I look, and you're just going along without me. I'm like, what if they don't let me on the plane? What if they stop me? Like,
Hey,
no.
I thought we were going to the same place. I didn't think I needed to hold your hand.
You
through
did.
it.
You do. You need
Sorry.
to make sure I get on the plane with you.
Yeah, but they just checked out. Like, luckily we have our Mexican residency and stuff, so they just checked that. I think they're just making sure because we were flying to, obviously we were going to Monterrey for my birthday, and it's only like 2 hours from, the U.S. border. So
Yeah.
maybe they were trying to check people that were making their way through Mexico or
We're
something.
trying to break in.
Yeah, we're smuggling ourselves in.
Coming back.
But yeah, so this, so we're gonna just kind of run through some points that we, like I said, that we had written down about Monterey.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I always try to find the best in places, and I like to talk things up. I did not have the greatest time, and I'm
That's
not
fair.
I'm not saying that I had a bad time, but there were just things that I was just like, I don't know if I want to come back here for this or whatever, so and some of them are probably very trivial and not a big deal, but I don't know, kind of left a bad taste in my mouth in certain situations.
Right. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
Beautiful. Maybe we spent too much time there.
Yeah,
but-
maybe. Yeah, it was a little too much time, possibly. But I think it all started when we got there, and one of the first beer places we went to where I was going to do my beer chug there.
Yeah.
And
You had it all planned out.
yeah, I was like, I'm going to go here. It has a beautiful view.
Beautiful view.
And it's like a brewery, but they have a beer bar that's not at the brewery. Like you can't go to the brewery. It's like it was in what was it, kind of like a food hall type of situation?
Yeah, it wasn't like a mall, but yeah, there were all these kind of shops and coffee shops and restaurants and yeah, like a big double level full food hall.
Yeah. And it said they opened at, I think, was it 1 or 2 or something?
2.
2. And we get there and it's like 2:30, 2:40 maybe.
Yeah.
And it's like closed down. And I had just asked them their hours like maybe 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
And so I messaged them back on Instagram. I was like, hey, I thought you guys were open. There's nobody here. And then they were like, yeah, if the bartender isn't late or something like that. And I'm like, okay. And then I was like, all right, let's wait another like 5, maybe 10 minutes, because we'd Ubered out there and it was like a 20-minute Uber ride. So I wanted to, do it. I want to do my chug there.
Of course.
And we wait like maybe another 5-10 minutes. And then a guy shows up.
Yep.
And I don't know, did you talk to him?
I did a little bit. Like, I think you went to the bathroom at the time, but he showed up and I was like, yay. And he said, hey, good afternoon, whatever. And then got to work. I was confused because the bar looked like it had been left the way it was the night before. There were glasses on top
Yeah.
of the bar. It looked like people had been drinking there and having a good time and didn't do anything to like restock or clean before. So he was getting right to work, like restocking beers the slowest way possible.
Oh, yeah. He was just one by one putting them in, didn't speak to us.
Yeah. Didn't say
And
anything after that.
yeah, and we just sat there the whole time, and I was so fucking pissed. Like, I never did message him. I was going to message him back because I took a video of him. I was like, I was about to message his brewery and be like, hey, like, we came all the way out here for you guys.
Yeah.
I was going to promote your business, promote your beer, and
free.
yeah, for free, just because, I love beer and I love to promote good beer and good breweries and stuff.
Yeah.
And this guy just did not give a fuck about us. He was just doing his own thing. And I don't know, it really pissed me off.
Yeah, it pissed me off too because we were obviously sitting there for a reason. We said, "Hey, we didn't want to be rude either because he was running late, obviously, whatever happened. he's getting there and stocking up the bar, getting ready for the day. So I've bartended, served, we've been in that industry. We're okay, give him a few minutes to get settled. I see him ringing up the register, like getting that all ready. But then after that, he just keeps going back, stocking Indios and Modelos, and it's a craft beer bar. Like, what are you worried about Indios and Modelos for? Like, we want to buy your craft beer.
And the beer's on tap. So, like, just walk over to us. What do you want?
Yeah.
Pour me a beer. And then go back to putting your warm ass like national beers back in the freezer or whatever, in the fridge. Like, yeah, I was so frustrated. So anyway, so that story is basically like our experience with the people there in a nutshell. And I'm not going to say, I don't want to say like everybody in Monterey are assholes, but that was probably the most negative thing about Monterey that I felt. Yeah. The city is beautiful. It's in the mountain, like surrounded by the most gorgeous mountains. There's great architecture. There's a million parks, just parks everywhere.
And
like
really well kept parks.
Yeah,
Everything
exactly.
Looked really nice and clean and just beautiful.
Yeah, but just the reception that we got, and I'm not trying to be like roll out the red carpet for me or anything, but we were talking to ourselves and we're trying to figure out, is it because we are obviously we're American and we're very close to the U.S. border and just, kind of the tension that's been going on the last, few years or whatever. Yeah. Or is it because, like we've talked about before, we've learned that Monterey is not the biggest tourist city. It's kind of more industrial or known for industries and businesses and stuff. It's not like a tourist destination. So were they treating us different because we're American? Were they treating us different because we were just tourists and they're not used to tourists and they don't have that kind of, like you come here and a lot of the places are like, what can I do for you? They know if you schmooze them a little bit, you're going to get a better tip.
Build that rapport with someone. But that should be in the service industry anywhere you go. You're working for tips. You're on minimal, an hourly wage. So your tips are your income. You kind of, I don't, like you're saying, I don't need you to roll out the red carpet, but at least ask me if I want a beer or if I want another beer, because we usually have 2 or 3 beers when we go somewhere. And a lot of these places would give us one and then not come back. And we're like, okay, we'll just pay our tab and go to the next brewery.
Well, and to be fair, that's how it is here in Playa del Carmen. A lot of places, and we've talked about that before, and we think maybe it's a cultural thing because a lot of Mexican families like to, they'll order their food and drinks and stuff, and then they'll sit there and chat there for like an hour. Sure. And they're thinking, oh, I don't want to bother them. This was different though. Like we went to this one brewery 3 times, and I know they had food there, and not once did they ever offer us a food menu. There's like just not attentive. Like they're doing other things while I'm sitting here with an empty beer glass. And then, one situation, this guy, he was being standoffish, and we had this almost every place we went. Like maybe 2 or 3 places had friendly bartenders, and waiters and waitresses. But, this one, I was like, I don't know what we did. They're being very rude to us. We felt like very standoffish, not helping us. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn this guy around. I'm going to give him a 20% tip, which I normally do tip 20%. Yeah. But I was like, I'm going to give this guy a 20% tip, and maybe, that'll build a rapport. He'll be like, oh, thank you so much or whatever. Yeah. I tipped him. He put it in the machine. He didn't even say thank you. It wasn't, and again, I'm not like expecting this stuff, and I'm not expecting him to be like, oh my God, thank you so much or whatever. But usually here, in Playa del Carmen, they're like, oh, thank you. Like, thank you, sir. I really appreciate that.
20% is a good amount. Most people tip like 10 and 15% if they're tipping at all. So to give 20%, and you always think of that way because if we're just getting a few beers, 10 or 15% is like nothing. Yeah. So 20%, that's a good, normal tip.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cause it's like, if it's, 60 pesos, it's like, 3, or let's say it's $6 US dollars. And I give them, 10%, that's like nothing on a beer, Right. So yeah, if it's a lower, if the bar tab is lower, then I'm going to give more percentage. If it's a really big bill, like, whatever, then I'm going to probably do 15%. But yeah. But anyway, so yeah, we just didn't have the best, and I hate to say, oh, we didn't have the best customer service, but we didn't. The people didn't seem very friendly to us. And
And
you
I
know?
think maybe it was just the city, or
Yeah.
just the vibe there. Maybe it's just not that type of city. Maybe it's more like New York, or something like that. But I love that first brewery you're talking about, that once we decided to leave and didn't get a beer, and then we really wanted to try one of their beers. So I went back in and asked him. He was still sitting there working on receipts, and I just went up to him. I was like, "Are you open now?" And he was like, "Yeah." Like, okay, great. You saw us sitting there, and
Yeah.
so ordered a couple beers, and the card machine didn't. I was gonna pay with a card and probably tip him. He goes, it's not working, like the card machine. It's not working with the Wi-Fi. So I was like, okay, cash, and I only had so much, and he gave me change back to where I'm not gonna leave him,
Like a $5 tip or something.
Yeah, something
for
super
2
high.
beers.
So I just didn't tip him. I was like, okay, that's a rookie mistake too. He must not be a good bartender, because you always give smaller bills, so they give you something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the hospitality industry. You got to be friendly, even if you're not that type of person. You got to fake it a little bit.
I think that's the training too. Like
True.
Just from even working at, what is it in Florida, at a sports bar called Mugshots. We even had training there, and I've worked at, Brio, like steak restaurants, wine restaurants. They train you to, this is what you do. This is how you can make money. This is how, you're supposed to serve people, and just be attentive and friendly.
Yeah, it could be. Who knows? But what else do we? We noticed. I did not realize there's a ton of strip clubs and casinos in Monterey.
A lot.
Yeah. So, and we were talking, I think maybe it's because, and I'm just speculating, maybe because they are very close to Texas, about 2 hours from the Texas border, or 2.5 maybe. And I think most things are illegal in Texas, right? Like you can't smoke weed there. I mean, not like you could in Monterey, but like you can't gamble, or I don't know if there's a ton of strip clubs in Texas, whatever. But maybe it's a kind of a Vegas type place for, Texas.
True.
You know, like, or like when we lived in Atlanta and we go up to, was it like Murphy, North Carolina, or, the Harrah's and everything. You got to kind of make, it's not legal where you are, so you got to make that destination. So maybe it's like a destination place, people coming down from Texas, to go gamble and get some hookers or something. Because
I wasn't going to any of those strip clubs or casinos.
Yeah,
they looked a little old.
Yeah. Let's see what. Oh, we saw like there was a lot of was it tarot cards?
Yeah.
Like
tarot cards?
Is it tarot? Yeah, tarot card readers, and like just people sitting in this kind of main downtown bar restaurant area that we were staying in. They were just like sitting around like reading people's reading their cards, I guess. I don't know how it works, but
when we were walking places, a couple ladies were like, hey, waving their cards around. I'm like, we're good.
But yeah, the people on the street, same deal. It was like they were kind of rude to like pushing us off the sidewalk a little bit. And I mean, I don't know. It was just I didn't get a good vibe from at least the people we experienced there.
And I don't think we were being weird, like it was us just overreacting or thinking, but people were staring at us. And I did notice we were probably the only white people in most areas. So maybe they were just like, oh my God, white people. What are you doing here?
But I think about it in reverse, like we were talking, and I'm like, if I'm in the States and I see a Mexican guy at a bar or at a restaurant, I'm not like, did you see the dark guy over there? Like, did you see that black guy? Like, like, so I don't know why it would be reversed, like, I don't know. It just seems weird to them, for them to be staring at us because I'm American or whatever. But maybe, like I said, because they're not used to tourists coming, and they're like, why are you here? This isn't like a vacation city,
Maybe they thought you were a celebrity like Adam Devine or something like
maybe.
that. They were like, is that? I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, like I said, beautiful scenery, the mountains, the parks, architecture, just, I mean, like everything. Like the food was really good.
Really good.
But the thing that I also noticed though was that they loved hot dogs. Like
everywhere.
every street corner had fucking hot dogs. Yeah. So, but usually, like, you see the food trucks or like the little taco stands around everywhere. They had like like I went out one night when we were at the Airbnb, and I'm just like, I just need some fucking food. Like, I don't think you were hungry or whatever. And I couldn't find anything because I don't want a hot dog at 1 a.m. At that point I didn't want it.
Oh, welcome to 42. Good choices.
Yeah.
So proud of you.
But one of the other things I wasn't a huge fan of with the city is it's not anybody's fault, but it's very massive
It's big.
and very spread out. So it wasn't like Mexico City where we could walk most places
Yeah.
and then maybe take like a 4-minute Uber ride. We had to Uber everywhere. Everything we wanted to do. We had to Uber to the brewery and then go from that brewery. We had to Uber to the next one and then Uber to dinner and then Uber back to the hotel. Like, so, I mean, and the Ubers were cheap.
They were
like,
still cheap,
yeah.
but we took twice as many.
Yeah. So it's not a super walkable city. And I think I read that as well. But they love buffets in Monterrey.
Every corner has some type of buffet.
Yeah.
Breakfast buffet, dinner buffet, taco buffet, whatever.
And we loved buffets in Monterrey because we ate 3.
We do. We love buffets.
So when we first landed, we went to the Holiday Inn buffet because it was right by the park, and I had read about it. They're like, "Oh, this is a great buffet." So we ate a breakfast buffet there, and then where else did we eat a buffet? Oh, we ate another breakfast buffet at our hotel.
Yep.
And then when we were at the mall, we ate at that Chinese food buffet, which was really fucking awesome.
Really good sushi. It was like that with sushi and the
pizza and chicken fingers.
Yeah,
and
that was so random.
and that's like kind of every Asian restaurant. Like they always have like chicken fingers and like maybe fish sticks or something on the menu. Like nothing to do with Chinese food.
I think they make them for like the kids
or wings.
There were kids there. Yeah, or wings.
Is that right? Yeah,
So weird.
Yeah, super strange.
They're like, kids are coming. They're not eating our sushi. Give them some chicken fingers.
Yeah. Another thing we thought was very interesting was we saw a lot of palm trees, and it's literally like Denver. Like we are at the foot of these mountains, just covered in foliage, different trees and stuff. But every now and then there's these giant fucking palm trees. I'm like, we are very far inland.
Very weird.
So yeah, I was shocked to see palm trees like in the mountains.
I know they have them in Mexico City too, but we read that they purposely brought them there. But I don't know how they thrive in these climates. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
What else happened there? Our power went out in our hotel, which I've never had my power go out in a hotel.
And the hotel we were at was a big old hotel.
Yeah, it was nice.
Where you would think the power would never go out.
Yeah, and we full disclosure, we stayed at an Airbnb and had to move to a hotel. We will tell that story next episode because it's a long one.
No way.
But yeah, that was a whole situation. What else do I notice? Lots of Asians there. And in turn, lots of Chinese food, which was great because like we're in our part of Mexico, we don't have Chinese food really.
Yeah, we only have like a couple places.
But I thought it was interesting that there were so many Asians there because it just doesn't seem like where people would migrate over from Asia, like on the west coast of Mexico, and obviously like the U.S., California, or whatever.
Yeah.
Lots of Asians over there, lots of good, different like Chinese food and Japanese food and everything.
For sure.
But it just seemed weird that we're like, we're below Monterrey is like below Texas, but almost to the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe there was some big migration at the time, or that was a big industry city, factories and stuff. So maybe that's why a lot of people migrated there. But just thought that was interesting. And I think I'd kind of touch on this, but nobody's proactive. Like you had to ask for everything. Like we like the menus and stuff. We're like, do you have them? Oh yeah, we got a food menu. I was like, oh okay, you could have gave it to me.
Thanks. And but they still tried to take them too.
Yeah.
Just like here, they gave us menus, we'd order, and then they try and take them right away. We're like, well, we want more drinks.
Yeah.
We might want more food. Like, wait a minute.
And one of the funniest things I think was one day we went to like 5 malls because we have malls where we are, but they're not big like malls like the U.S. like 5 stories, and they have a million department stores and all these different kinds of like. They had so many malls, and the food. The really smart thing I thought was they didn't have one food court. Usually in U.S. malls, there's like an anchor food court area, and all the food is there. Mm-hmm. They had like 3 food courts like throughout the mall. So if you're on the other end of it, you didn't have to walk all the way over to the food court.
And they were all good places. It wasn't just like McDonald's and Burger King, which they also had, but then they would have, the Chinese place, they would have tacos, they would have tortas, all different kinds, like the local.
Yeah, like in the U.S., it's like 12 Chinese places and then the Sbarro pizza or whatever.
Yeah, oh, Sbarro.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was awesome. And the funny observation I had was the malls in Mexico were, and we, obviously we talked about the malls here, but the malls there in Mexico, they are so similar to the U.S. malls, as in they have those guys that give the lotion, like they try to like bring you in at the kiosks.
Oh yeah, the lotion, the essential oils. They had the perfume lady. They all were coming at me, and I was like, "Don't put anything on me.
Yeah,
don't touch me."
But they also, for some reason, every mall has that weird like Egyptian store where it's just kind of like they sell like incense and then like sphinxes and different like
I didn't even
King
realize
Tut stuff.
I didn't even realize until you pointed it out, and you're like, yeah, right there. There's like the pharaoh sitting there and the sphinx and all that.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, we had one of those at the my mall in Iowa growing up. And then they got the smoke shops, just random shops selling like pipes and stuff in the mall. A lot of goth stores.
There was a very big goth influence.
Oh
there.
yeah, very big goth scene there. And we say goth like generally because I'm not super knowledgeable on the scenes or whatever.
Or like
but
elder millennials.
but there'll be right. But there was like goth type stores where all the clothes are black and they have the big like platform boots and
like
everything.
Hot Topic kind of thing.
Totally.
But not Hot Topic.
But then there's a lot of like kind of collector type of stores. Like there's like a big anime store, and then there is a kind of I don't know, like
there's like a Chucky doll store.
yeah, like something. Yeah, very very strange. But the one thing that actually this is used to be common for the U.S. having the pet store in the mall.
Yeah.
Every mall there had a pet store, but not a fan. They had every one of them had a monkey that they were selling at the mall.
Tiny, like,
Who's going to the
monkey.
mall and buying a fucking monkey?
Somebody is.
I mean, well, maybe somebody's not, and that's why he's still there.
True.
But yeah,
He didn't look happy.
yeah. So I was not a fan of that.
No.
Or the puppies. They actually had puppies, and I actually, when I was a kid, that's where we got our family dog was at the mall.
Well, that was normal back then because I don't think, people didn't really think about it or know better what was going on, like with the puppy mill situation.
Yeah.
But the monkeys, they should not be there. And all the pet stores, we didn't see puppies until the last one, and they had a bunch of them, and we're like, oh no.
Yeah, and they were like wheeling them out in boxes or whatever. I mean, not like closed boxes, but like
crates.
Crates, yeah.
But they had a lot of them, like puppies, and we're like, they do not look 8 weeks old.
No, not at all. Yeah, so yeah, it was the malls were a lot of fun to just go, and a lot of the big ones had like multiple stores, like the same store but multiple times.
Yeah,
like 3 of them.
They were so long. It would be like Sears is over here, but you'd have the Hot Topic store and all the little restaurants, and then you go all the way the other side of the mall, and they'd have the same ones.
Yeah,
very random.
Yeah, super random. But one of the malls we went to the Hello Kitty Burger Land.
Yes,
and then.
You were a master at finding these Hello Kitty places.
I was just looking around, and I'm like, we got to collect them all now.
I didn't realize there were so many. There was such a long line though, and tons of kids. We were like, all right, maybe we don't go in this one. But we took some pictures.
Yeah. So, and then what was the other Hello Kitty thing they had there?
It was like a beauty salon. You could go and get, for little girls, you get a blowout, get some makeup done, get some sparkles on, all sorts of stuff like that. And there was a coffee shop in there. I hope the kids aren't drinking coffee. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
like in the salon. Maybe that's for the parents.
Yeah. But for my actual, so with all this stuff that kind of happened, and we'll go into some of the other stories next week, the best day was my actual birthday.
Yes, as it should.
It should. And it was awesome. So the whole time it was hot as balls. Like,
so hot.
Like unseasonably hot, I guess, for the area.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to do a water activity. So they have this canyon where you can go and you go on an excursion. You go with a tour guide or whatever, and you have helmets and life jackets and wetsuits and stuff, and you kind of jump off these little cliffs into water. Like there's a river, and then you like slide down the water slide kind of thing, like we would do at Tallulah Gorge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had planned on doing that, but I was trying to wait to see what the weather was like because it was on my birthday. It looked like it was going to rain.
It kept it was saying it was going to rain all week, and then it kept pushing back. And we're like, please don't rain on your birthday. And then it just stopped right on your birthday. We're like, shit.
Yeah. So once it got closer, and my birthday was on Tuesday too, and a lot of the tours only happen on the weekend and stuff. Yeah. So I'm looking around these different tour companies, and I see them like, oh, fuck, they do paragliding. I was like, I've never done that. That sounds kind of fun.
Oh, my God.
So I message them, and, I get all the details, and they're like, yeah, you can do it on Tuesday. We got spots open for you and your wife.
Great.
And you were begging me to do it.
Oh, just like, please, why wouldn't you want to go paragliding? Actually, both of your excursions, I was just like, not my cup of tea, but I'll support you because I love you. Let's do it.
Yeah. So we plan this, and we take a taxi down to Santiago, which is a Pueblo Mágico, right? Mágico.
Magical.
Yeah.
Magical town.
Yeah, it's a magical town.
So cute.
But we go down there and we Uber down there. So we get dropped off at the drop off point. We're just in this fucking field.
Yeah.
Like at the foot of these the Sierra Madre Mountains.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And so we're sitting there, and then the two guides come up and they drive up and they throw us in the back of the car and they say, okay, so the day it wasn't raining, but there was a lot of cloud coverage, like over the mountains.
It was like steamy.
Yeah.
So it was just like foggy everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So they say, when do you guys leave? Because there's a possibility that we can't do it today.
And with tours, as soon as someone starts saying that, you're like, oh shit,
yeah,
it might not happen today. We're gonna have to come back and do this tomorrow.
And we were leaving the next day, but it was in the evening.
Yeah.
But
so we could.
Yeah, we could have technically, but I was like, I want to do something fun on my birthday, like we'd already hit all the breweries around town and all the tourist attractions that we wanted to see.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, he's like, well, let's go up the mountain and wait up there, because if the clouds lift, we might just have a 5-minute window where we can take off.
Oh god.
And to be clear, or to clarify, because I wasn't really sure, paragliding is it's like parachuting, but you jump off of the side of the mountain. Yeah. So it's not like parasailing where it is, I guess it's kind of like parasailing from the boat, but it's not like, is the other one called paragliding also, where you have that kind of like kite thing where it's like a metal frame and you're hanging in it and then you run off the mountain?
Maybe.
Is that the same thing?
It's kind of the same thing, but not. And I didn't ask any questions because I always said, if I know more details, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to get too scared and I'm going to back out. So I'm like, just don't tell me anything until we get in the top of the mountain. Then it's too late.
Yeah. So we're taking this his truck up the mountain, and it's you, me, these two guys, and then this other guy that's his job to drive the truck back down the mountain after we're done.
Juan was in the
back.
back.
Oh, is it Juan?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know how he survived back there, because we were like this the whole way up the mountain going like, woo.
Oh yeah, because we went up, and halfway up it was a road, and then the second half it was gravel road, and then just like, it wasn't looking great. But they were telling us, they're like, yeah, there's like a lot of bears out here, so if you see a bear, don't run. And I just start you can hear in one of my videos, he says that, and I start laughing, and he's like, no, seriously. And I was like, oh, okay, I thought you were fucking with me.
But then they just got done telling us that they're friendly bears because no one's, up there hunting them or whatever. They're like Yogi Bear. So he's like, it's like Yogi Bear's up here, but don't run from him. We're like, well, is he nice or not?
Yeah, well, it's probably like a dog, if like you run from him, he thinks you're playing or whatever.
True.
So I don't want to play with no bears.
No thanks.
Yeah.
So it just froze.
But we get up there and we get to where we're going to take off from. And it's just this, and we had to go through like 3 private fences that they had to unlock and everything. And we get there and it's just this barbed wire fence with a gate, and it's just into the abyss. You see nothing because it's all fog. It wasn't even fog. It was the literal clouds. Like the clouds were coming off the mountain through the woods. It was raining a little bit. It was like super creepy, right?
And I love that I had asked you as we start this journey, I'm like, are we going all the way up to the tippy top of the mountain? And you're like, no, I don't think so. We're going to, there's probably like a middle area.
Yeah, like a platform.
That we're going to jump off of or something. You lied. We went all the way to the tippy top of the mountain.
I did not lie because I didn't know the answer.
Okay, good. Well, I felt like you lied because we were on the fucking top of the mountain. Yeah. And I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, it took us like almost an hour to get up there, right?
It took a while. And all I kept thinking was that stupid song, Dumb Ways to Die. Dumb Ways
Yeah, I was like, why are you singing that?
I was like, it's in my head. I don't know. My mom's in my head, and that song was in my head.
So we're up there at the top of the mountain, and we don't have cell phone service. And he's like, hey, if you go stand by this tree, you'll have service. It's like an antenna. I was like, really? And I was like,
we were like, huh.
Yeah. And he's like, no, seriously.
Oh.
And it worked. Like
it
when
did.
you got, you got service when you stood over there.
I thought he was fucking with us.
Yeah,
He's
so
like,
did I.
It's a natural antenna, but then they all went over there and were using their phones. So I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is a true thing, because like my dad used to do this thing when he'd unlock his car with like the remote lock.
Yeah.
And if you put it up against your chin, it uses your skull as an antenna.
Wasn't that a myth?
No, I mean, it works.
Oh.
I don't know if it's a myth, but it fucking worked. And so I would always do that when I'm locking my car and I'm too far away, and then it would lock it. But so that is the same idea, I guess. Like if you're by this big tree, it's using it as an antenna. But anyway, so the clouds finally start lifting just a little bit. They're like, okay, we can see the ground. And then they like would, the clouds would come over again another time. And so they're like, okay, let's get ready. And so you start getting your gear on and you're going to go first.
Yes.
Because that's what you wanted.
I don't know why they decided to put me first, but he was really ramping up the directions and instructions and everything, and then getting my little harness on. I just keep looking back at you, and your pilot's just sitting there hanging out like, we'll be right behind you guys. And I'm like, is he coming too? Because I don't want to go by myself.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be up at the same time. And we eventually were. But like, yeah, you went first. And my guy is like, you're getting strapped in and he's telling you everything. And my guy's just on there playing on his phone.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, bro, like, you going to tell me what's up? And I think at one point I asked him, because they taught us how to take off, how we have to like bend over and then run out.
Bend at the hips.
Yeah, and keep your head up and you got to just run out,
Go.
basically, and just run off the cliff.
Oh my God.
And so I was like, okay, so what do we do when we're landing? Because I've done like hot air balloons and there's different ways to like land,
That's
whether
what
it's
I wanted to know.
yeah. And he was like, oh, don't worry about that. We'll figure that out later. And I was like, what?
My guy said the same thing. He goes, I'll tell you that once we get closer to the ground. I'm like, shouldn't you prepare me before we get close to the ground?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But these guys were awesome too. They made me feel so comfortable. I wouldn't
yeah.
have done it if I didn't like them, and I loved them.
Oh yeah, they were super knowledgeable. My guy, and they pulled the old, well, this is my first time
Oh my
joke
God.
like a couple times. But all right, we get it, guys. We're fucking. You were nervous, like you were kind of panicking.
I was just sitting there like, he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I've never done anything like this before. I'm scared. They're like, oh, really? You'll be fine. And then I asked my guy, how many times have you done it? And he was like, this is my second time. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and they're joking, obviously.
Yeah.
But like my guy said, my pilot, I guess they call him. He was like, yeah, I've been doing this for 32 years. Like
Excellent.
he's good.
He could have started with that.
Right.
I appreciate the giggle, but like, tell me how long you've been doing this, sir,
Yeah.
so I feel comfortable.
Yeah. So you go and you take off. How was like, because I filmed you taking off. How was it like your first 20, 30 seconds of taking off?
I'm pretty sure I blacked out.
No, really?
Because the video I watched of you, like I could tell, I heard him go, okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
Right.
And I didn't go. I was like, what? And he was like, 1, 2, 3, go. So you have to bend forward and then start running forward like track, like you're getting ready to, whatever, shoot off. And I couldn't. It was because it was already pulling you, the parachute or whatever. It's pulling you from behind. So I'm running. He's like, go, go, go. And I'm like, I'm going. And then I look down and my feet weren't touching anymore. And he's like, here we go. Woohoo. I'm like, ah.
Yeah. And you go through the cloud coverage at first, but then you open it up and it's just these beautiful tree covered mountains.
Oh, I've never sweated so much in my life. Every pore. I was like,
yeah. So, and then, then I go and we get out there and we went over this like kind of ledge, or this, not ledge, but like, I don't know, over the part of the mountain.
Yeah.
And there was one giant palm tree sticking out from the pines. Like it was so crazy to see a palm tree in the mountains.
Exactly. I was like, why is there a palm tree out here?
But they had these little machines that would start going beep, 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 beep. And so we're like, what the fuck is that? Usually when something's beeping faster and louder, you're like, something's wrong.
Alert, there's a problem.
But they were saying that was from the thermals or whatever, like the updrafts. And when you are raising an altitude, then they start beeping like that.
Oh, that's nice. Your pilot explained it that way. My guy said, it means we're going really high or we're going too high. And I was like, well, stop going high because it's beeping right in my ear. And then he'd go back down and then we'd go back up.
Oh, shoot.
And he said I was great because of my weight, which, yay, that was great. But we were going so high.
Yeah.
He was like, we could go higher. I'm like, no, thank you. We're high. We're on top of the mountain. We're high enough. Oh my gosh.
So, and when I was out there, and so you're over the mountains for quite a while, and then we go over the town of Santiago, and then there's a lake right there. I can't remember what the lake was called, but it looked like you guys were over the lake. You were, I don't know how much higher. I mean, he said we were about 5,000 feet, so that's about a mile up.
Oh my God.
And you looked like you were another 50% higher than I was. And
he just kept going and going. And then he goes, oh, there's Nate. And I'm like, where is Nate? And he's like, down there. And I'm like, why are we up here? Oh my God.
But then my guy told me the same thing. He's like, we're a lot heavier than they are, so they're going to be going up higher. So yeah, but it was fun. I think we were up there 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah, it felt forever.
And my guy, since he knew I was more comfortable, when we're going down, he's like, "Do you like roller coasters?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay." And he starts going shoom, 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 going back and forth, but like just flying back and forth. It was so amazing.
My guy sees you guys doing that and he goes, "Doesn't that look like fun? Do you want to do that?" And I said, "No, thank you." And then he asked me, "Would you like to fly?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Do you want to control the thing, the kite?" I was like, "No, not at all. You're the professional." I was having enough of a hard time taking the GoPro stick, and he's like, "Go slow," going out and getting all the video and then coming back in. And then he's like, "Remember to smile." And I'm like, I wasn't smiling. So I'm like, doing it again. And he was having me do all these things. And then to get it back and turn it on and turn it off, I was just like, oh, that was enough. That was enough for me.
But so I landed, actually, you took off before me and I landed before you. So
Yes.
you were up there longer.
Yes.
So I took a video of you landing and, coming down and everything.
Thank you.
You were so happy to be back on the ground. I think you did the Katy Perry and kissed the ground.
I didn't kiss it,
I know,
but
I know.
I got low. Like it felt so weird to land because when we're landing, he's like, "I'm gonna tell you to either sit, so put your feet and your legs out and sit down, or start running." And he's like, "But I'm gonna have to tell you that a couple of minutes before we land." And I'm just like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's like,
so
just
then
tell
we're
me.
getting closer, and he's like, "Sit." So then finally I sit. But I didn't even want to get back up. It just felt so good to be on the ground and not like wobbly and floating everywhere.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it was. I mean, how was the experience? And actually, you started crying when you got down.
I was just,
It was just like that rush of emotion that released, right?
I was so happy to be on the ground and then to see you. And it was like as soon as I hugged you, I was just like, and then the tears started flooding. But it was a great experience.
Yeah.
It really was. I don't know if I would do it again, but towards the end of it, I was getting more brave with the GoPro and we
Yeah.
were doing like peace signs and things. But at first, it was just so fucking scary because you're just strapped to some dude out in the middle
Yeah,
of the thing.
it's literally just a parachute, you and this guy, and you're not like in a balloon basket or
No.
anything. It's just you're just strapped into your gear and
And
everything.
the power, he was like, "We're using nature as our power," because there were birds flying around. He's like, "See, like the birds can just float in the air through the wind, like the draft or whatever." We were
Yeah.
doing the same thing. So I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. That's cute." And I'm like, "So it's science or whatever." I don't know.
Yeah.
It was so scary though.
But yeah, totally worth it.
I'm glad I didn't get sick or throw up.
Yeah.
He was worried
for
about
sure.
both.
But are you glad you did it?
I am glad I did it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much for doing it with me.
Thank you for making me go, and I'm glad you got to do what you wanted on your birthday.
Yeah, no, it was great. And then then after that, we went back. We got changed. We went out to two of our favorite breweries that we had went to while we were there. And we had eaten weed cookies at the brewery. Oh,
Again.
when I went to the brewery, we went to this one called La Taberna, and it was like a beer bar, and they had one of my favorite breweries in California called Bottle Logic, and I got a really good IPA beer there, and so I was like, all right, this is my birthday present to myself.
I love it. I had some Monkey Wave
Yeah.
beer.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know where they're from, but I
yeah,
like them.
yeah,
a
they're
lot.
Mexican, but I think they're like contract brewing. I don't think they have a location, but
They're one of my new
yeah,
faves.
yeah, they were really good. I hope we get some more because we get it in Merida, but I haven't seen it here. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe we can see if we can get it here somehow.
Yes.
But so we're at the brewery and we were gonna go to dinner, and so I was like, let's eat a weed cookie.
Yeah.
So we ate another weed cookie. Well, not another, but
Yeah.
our first one for that day.
That day.
And my birthday dinner was between two places. This nice romantical place on the beach. I mean, on the beach, on the river. Yeah.
I was like, beach.
Yeah. And under the twinkle lights and stuff. And I was like, oh, we're going to get some, good tacos and, have some wine or something. And my other option was this place, and I can't remember how to say it.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, it looks like Rancor or something like that. It's like it's a Norwegian name.
Looks like the guy that owns it would be named like Gronk or
Yeah,
something.
you're a Thor or
Yeah.
something. But it is like a themed restaurant that is like Norwegian, Nordic, Viking themed. And I'm glad we went to that.
Well, you gave me the two options. Which one do you think I'd like better? I'm like, look at these people. They're eating meat. They have hats with horns and big giant beer mugs. That's your place.
Yes.
Let's go there.
And we went there, and it was fucking awesome. They're showing like Lord of the Rings and Vikings and Game of Thrones and stuff,
And playing classic rock.
yeah,
again
and they
for
were
some
playing really
reason.
good classic rock for some reason.
So weird.
Yeah, and we had these big mugs of beer that were like wooden
Yeah.
mugs. I don't know, it was
Muds.
crazy.
I don't know. What they are.
And we ordered a what was it? A ribeye.
Yeah.
It had another plate that had ribs, sausage, corn, like vegetables. It was like medieval times on steroids.
Oh yeah, carrots, potatoes, all the like meaty kind of yummy stuff.
Yeah, and they have like mead, like the drink. Like you could drink out of a horn. I didn't get one of those. I wanted to, but it was taking a second.
We were already
because
feeling
the service there was probably the best we had.
it was great, but we were already feeling the couple giant mugs of beer that we had and the cookie.
Oh yeah, and then the weed cookies, and we were getting like real crazy.
We were like, oh my god, I
yeah,
can't
we're
eat
like,
anymore.
yeah, we had to get out of there because we were like, all right, we're a little too high now.
And we had like the Viking hats on with the horns, and we're taking pictures in the throne, and it was so fun.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
Yeah, so all in all, the best time of the trip was my birthday. We paraglided, we went to breweries, we ate weed cookies, we got to wear horned hats and drink beer out of mugs.
Yes,
and
we were Vikings
yeah,
for your birthday.
Yeah, so definitely the best part of the trip. Thank you so much for helping me make it happen.
That should be your highlight day.
Yeah, it was the highlight. So
That's great.
yeah, so but yeah, it was a fantastic trip. We actually have some more stories, but we probably should get out of here. And
we have a lot of
yeah,
stories.
so we'll save some more for next week.
Yes.
We'll talk about the Airbnb horror story that features us.
Oh my god.
So we are going to be our own Airbnb horror story.
It's going to be a good one. And actually, we are pretty exhausted right now because the last 48 hours we're delayed with our flight, and we'll get into that too.
Yeah, our flight was delayed. We missed some different transportations. We got stuck in a city. So we got a lot to talk about next week.
A lot of things happen.
Yes, but anyway, again, thank you everybody who said that happy birthday. If you'd still like to buy me a birthday beer, buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on hiatus, where you can buy us some virtual beers that we will happily drink.
We will happily chug them.
And we drank a lot of them this last week. So
We did.
thank you everybody that did donate and buy us some beers and just said happy birthday in general. We really appreciate you guys listening. So also remember hansonsonhiatus.com. We got the merch shop. You can become a monthly Fuck You supporter if you want to keep the podcast going and you love supporting what we're doing here and the stories and everything. So thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. But also like, follow, share, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music at Hansons on Hiatus. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.